That's my bitch. That's my bitch, bro. That's my bitch for real, bro. Fuck with you.
We want to get to a developing story right now. Tonight, we are hearing from a woman who says she watched a mother try to run away from her boyfriend's gunfire.
34-year-old Nicholas Finley now is charged with capital murder after detectives say he robbed and killed his 29-year-old girlfriend, Merseana Struggs. It happened at a park, the park at Cumberland Apartments on July 19th. KPRC2 reporter Corley Peel shares what the witness saw before the shots were fired.
The neighbor tells me she did not know Merseana Struggs for very long, but she says she was beautiful and kind. She says the moment she heard gunshots, she feared for her friend's life. Bullet holes are found on Shawnee Drury's front door.
Here's, it's right here. They're all of them are right here.
Her doorstop is where Merseana Struggs was shot and killed while trying to run from her boyfriend, Nicholas Finley. Drury recalls how it unfolded.
He said he got pulled over and he needed her to bring the insurance card. And so my roommate took her to go down there and he wasn't there. So when they came back, he was sitting right here in her car. And she jumped out and had a confrontation with him. And he shot her a couple times. My boyfriend pushed me back in the house and we just went in the bathroom and I just had my hands over my head and it was so loud.
She ran. That's what you need to know first. Merseana Struggs ran through that parking lot like her life depended on it. Because it did. She ducked under a truck, tried to climb into a stranger's car, begged with her eyes for anyone to save her. And the man who said he loved her, he followed her. Step by step, shot by shot. By the time the sun hit its peak that July morning in Houston, Merseana was gone. 29 years old, a mother, a sister, a woman who moved to Texas chasing something better. What she found instead was a bullet, then another, then another. This isn't a story about love. It's about what happens when love becomes a weapon. Welcome to Homicide Case Files, where real stories meet real consequences with no fluff. Just the truth. Hit subscribe if you find meanings in these stories. Now let's get into it.
Nigga said, I'm in the bank, but I got cash. I'm gonna get some good dick tags over. You know? I'm a real nigga.
How the fuck y'all post me on the burn page again, the same page, asking what's tea on her? Bitch, shouldn't y'all be giving the page tea about me? Y'all bitches always worrying about me. Like, I don't get it. Like, what the fuck? What am I doing? What, I guess just looking good, minding my fucking business. Y'all hoes can't stand it.
Merseana Struggs wasn't supposed to end up in Houston. I mean, nobody really plans to start over in a new city with an 8-year-old kid and a suitcase full of hope, right? But that's exactly what she did. Her sister Kimani said Merseana packed up everything and moved to North Houston because she wanted to give her son a better life. A stable home, a fresh start. The kind of thing a good mother does. Neighbors at the park at Cumberland Apartments remembered her as beautiful, kind. The type of person who'd smile at you in the hallway and actually mean it. One woman told reporters Merseana was a loving mother who kept to herself but was always polite, always present for her son. But here's the thing about starting over. You can leave a place, sure. You can change your address, your job, your routine. What you can't always leave behind. The people who refuse to let you go. And for Merseana, that person was Nicholas Finley, 34 years old, her boyfriend, the man who, according to investigators, would soon become the last face she'd ever see. The relationship details are murky. We don't know when they met, how long they'd been together, or what the good days looked like. What we do know is this. By July 2024, something had shifted. Maybe Merseana was pulling away. Maybe she'd started to see the red flags everyone else couldn't. Maybe she was planning her exit. Or maybe she'd already left, and he just couldn't accept it. Because on the morning of July 19th, Nicholas Finley asked Merseana to meet him. And she went. How many times have you ignored your gut because someone you cared about asked you to show up? How many times have you talked yourself out of your own fear because it felt easier than confronting it? Merseana showed up that morning to an apartment complex, to a man who had a gun. She thought she was just bringing insurance papers. 505 Cypress Station Drive, North Houston, the park at Cumberland Apartments. It's the kind of place you drive past without thinking twice. Brick buildings, neat parking lots, a few trees trying their best in the Texas heat. Normal, quiet, until it wasn't. According to witnesses, Finley had been seen in Merseana's car earlier that morning. He'd asked her to bring some insurance documents. Routine stuff, or so it seemed. But when Merseana arrived with her roommate, something was off. Finley was waiting outside his apartment. And then it started. A neighbor later told police she heard voices getting louder. Merseana and her roommate confronting Finley about something. We don't know what was said. Maybe it was about the car. Maybe it was about the relationship. Maybe Merseana finally said the words he didn't want to hear. Whatever it was, Nicholas Finley pulled out a gun. And he started shooting. Merseana didn't freeze. She didn't scream and wait for help. She ran. Through the parking lot, past cars, past people who would later describe the scene as so loud and terrifying. She ran like her son's face was flashing in front of her eyes. Like she could outrun the bullets if she just moved fast enough. She ducked under a truck, trying to hide. But Finley kept coming. She tried to get into a neighbor's car. The door was unlocked. She pulled the handle, threw herself inside, maybe thinking she'd found shelter. But the neighbor, Shawnee Drury, was sitting right there. And before Shawnee could even process what was happening, Finley was at the window. He shot Merseana. Again. And again. Shawnee later told reporters she'd never forget the sound, the fear in Merseana's eyes, the way she was pleading without words. Merseana stumbled out of the truck, still trying, still running, but her body was failing her now. She'd been hit multiple times, blood was pooling, her legs gave out, and Nicholas Finley walked up to where she'd collapsed. He stood over her, and he emptied the gun. You ever hear a gunshot in real life? It's not like the movies. It's sharp, ugly. It echoes in a way that makes your chest tighten. And when there's more than one, when it's rapid fire, one after another, it doesn't sound like action. It sounds like execution. That's what the neighbors heard that morning. Shawnee Drury said she was sitting in her truck when Merseana appeared at her door, desperate. She didn't have time to think, didn't have time to lock the door or drive away. Merseana was just there, and then Finley was there. And then the shots were so close, Shawnee thought she might die too. She didn't. But Merseana did. Another witness said they saw Merseana running across the lot, ducking, weaving, trying to find cover. They said it looked like she was fighting for her life, which, yeah, she was. Literally. But here's the part that gets me. Even after Merseana collapsed, even after it was clear she wasn't getting up, Finley kept shooting. He stood over her body and fired until the gun had nothing left to give. That's not passion. That's not a crime of sudden rage or a moment of poor judgment. That's intent. Sheriff Ed Gonzalez later said it plainly. Finley stood over her and shot into her body. He wanted to make sure she was dead. He wanted to make sure she'd never run from him again. And when he was done, he grabbed Merseana's purse, got into her car, and drove away. Not remorse, not panic, just theft. Like her life was an inconvenience he'd just handled. I want you to sit with that for a second. A woman runs for her life in broad daylight, in front of witnesses, and the man who kills her doesn't even hesitate before stealing her car. What kind of person does that? Nicholas Finley didn't get far. Within hours, deputies from the Harris County Sheriff's Office tracked him down. They found Merseana's car, they found her purse, and they found him. He was arrested the same day. No chase, no dramatic standoff, just cuffs and a ride to the Harris County Jail. He was charged with capital murder. In Texas, that's the heaviest charge you can face. It means the state believes you didn't just kill someone, you did it with premeditation. With intent, it carries life in prison without parole. In some cases, it carries the death penalty. Finley was held without bond. No getting out, no second chances. The evidence was overwhelming. Witnesses, video footage, the gun, Merseana's blood still wet on the pavement. You don't need to be a detective to piece this one together. But here's where it gets interesting. Because as the case started making headlines, something weird happened online. Rumors started swirling. Some posts claimed the killer's name was Jamarian Lawson. Others said Merseana's car had been set on fire. That the scene was even more gruesome than reported. None of it was true. I don't know where those stories came from. Maybe someone misread an early report. Maybe the internet just did what the internet does, twisted the truth into something more sensational. But the facts are clear. The killer was Nicholas Finley. There was no fire. There was no mysterious second suspect. Just a man, a gun, and a woman who didn't deserve to die. Still, it makes you wonder, doesn't it? How quickly the truth gets buried under noise. How a woman's real story, her actual name, her actual death, can get overshadowed by rumors and clicks. Merseana Struggs deserves better than that. After Merseana's death, Sheriff Ed Gonzalez held a press conference. He didn't just talk about the case, he talked about the bigger picture. In Harris County alone, about 35% of all murders that year involved intimate partners, current or former boyfriends, husbands, people who once said "I love you" and then turned those words into weapons. Gonzalez said something that stuck with me. Leaving an abusive relationship is the most dangerous time. Read that again. The most dangerous time isn't when you're in it, it's when you try to get out. Because that's when control is lost. That's when the abuser realizes they can't manipulate you anymore, can't guilt you, can't keep you under their thumb. And for some people, if they can't have you, they'll make sure no one else can either. Merseana moved to Houston for a fresh start. She was building a life for her son. She was, by all accounts, trying to do everything right. But Nicholas Finley didn't care about any of that. Domestic violence advocates say this happens more often than we realize. A woman leaves. She blocks the number. She moves. She thinks she's safe. And then one day he shows up, asks to talk, says he just needs 5 minutes. And those 5 minutes become the last moments of her life. It's not always loud. It's not always obvious. Sometimes it's a text that says, "Can we meet?" Sometimes it's a request for paperwork, something that sounds harmless until it isn't. The warning signs were probably there. Maybe Merseana saw them, maybe she didn't, maybe she thought she could handle it, or maybe she just didn't have a choice. Because here's the truth, nobody wants to say out loud. Sometimes, even when you do everything right, it still isn't enough. Merseana's sister, Kimani, set up a GoFundMe after the murder. The description is short, painful. It says Merseana was our rock, that she was loyal, kind, and loved by so many. It says the family is trying to bring her body home and support her 8-year-old son, 8 years old. That little boy woke up one morning with a mom who loved him. By the afternoon, she was gone, and not because of an accident, not because of an illness, because someone decided she didn't deserve to live anymore. What do you even tell a child after something like that? The fundraiser raised thousands of dollars. Strangers donated. People who never met Merseana but saw her story and felt the weight of it. They wanted to help. They wanted her family to know they weren't alone. But money doesn't bring her back. It doesn't fill the chair at the dinner table. It doesn't answer the questions her son will ask for the rest of his life. It doesn't undo the fact that a woman who was just trying to build something better ended up in a parking lot, bleeding out while a man she once trusted walked away. Her family called her their rock. But who was holding her up? Who was protecting her when she needed it most? I've told you a lot today. About Merseana. About Nicholas Finley. About a July morning in Houston that started normal and ended in blood. But if you take one thing from this, let it be this. Love should never hurt. And if it does, it isn't love. If someone isolates you, controls you, makes you feel small or afraid, that's not passion. That's danger. And leaving might be the hardest thing you'll ever do. But staying could cost you everything. Merseana Struggs, she fought, she tried to survive, and she still didn't make it. But maybe, just maybe, her story can save someone else. If you're in an abusive relationship, tell someone. Make a plan. Don't go alone. Don't meet in private. Don't think just this one last time will be okay. Because for Merseana, there was no next time. She was 29, a mother, a sister, a woman with a whole life ahead of her, and now she's a name, a case file, a GoFundMe page. That shouldn't be how this ends. To Merseana's family, we're so sorry. Your sister, your daughter, your rock, she deserved so much more than this. We hope her son grows up knowing how much she loved him, how hard she tried, how brave she was. And to everyone watching, if this story hit you, if it made you think, if it reminded you of someone you know or something you've been through, Don't just scroll past it. Subscribe to this channel, not because I need the numbers, but because stories like Merseana's need to be told. Because the next case we cover could be the one that saves your life. Or someone you love. Domestic violence doesn't announce itself, it hides in plain sight. And the more we talk about it, the harder it is to ignore. So subscribe, share this video, leave a comment telling me what you think or what you've learned, or even if you disagree with something I said. Engagement matters, your voice matters, and if you won't subscribe, honestly, I'm curious. Go to the comments and tell me why. Tell me what's stopping you. Because I'm here to learn too. Thank you for watching to the end. I'll see you in the next true crime story. Stay safe out there.